Hey folks, and welcome to this weekly update of Azure news from myself, Sarah Lean. This episode was recorded on the 27th of September 2024. Now, the first bit of news I want to cover is actually the announcement that Windows Server Update Services, or WSUS, is being deprecated. When we talk about deprecation, it actually marks a phase when a product is no longer in active development. It doesn't mean there's an immediate change. WSUS will continue to function and will remain available in Windows Server 2025, and that doesn't have an expected end life until the 2030s at some point. So it's important to note that WSUS hasn't had any features and new functionality since 2008. So it's not an immediate change, this deprecation, but it is something that you need to plan for in the future. Now, what does this really mean for your organisation? So if you're using WSUS today, you'll want to start considering alternative solutions. For organisations with Microsoft 365 F3 or E3 and above licences, you can actually patch your Windows 10 and 11 machines via Windows Auto Patch and Microsoft Intune at no additional cost. For your servers, there is an alternative, which is the Azure Update Manager, and that's a cloud-based update solution. Now, there are some scenarios where Azure Update Manager is free. So for servers that are already in Azure, you can use this service for free. If your server is enrolled using extended security updates via Azure Arc, then it'll be free as well. For servers protected by Microsoft Defender for Servers Plan 2, and those servers that are hosted within an Azure Stack HCI cluster will also be free to be able to patch through Azure Update Manager. Alternatively, it will be a price of about $5 per server per month to use Azure Update Manager. So this is something that you need to be aware of and probably plan ahead accordingly. But as I say, it's not something that you need to necessarily panic about right now because there's no immediate change, and WSUS will continue to be in Windows Server 2025. So you've got a good number of years before you start to think about an alternative solution. Now, last year there was a blanket announcement that on the 31st of October 2024, Azure would be deprecating support for TLS 1.0 and 1.1. Since then, a few services have come out with their own guidance and slightly different guidance. And this week there have been an announcement that Azure Application Gateway will stop supporting TLS 1.0 and 1.1 on the 31st of August 2025. We've also had Azure Front Door saying that they will stop supporting TLS 1.0 and 1.1 on December 1st, 2024. So it's key to understand this because each service seems to have different timelines and different advice. So my general guidance though, my personal guidance is to look at each server individually, understand how they're addressing this security change while keeping that initial end date of the 31st of October very much in your mind and in your plans. In general available announcements this week, we have the Azure Confidential Virtual Machine with NVIDIA H100 Tensor Core GPUs, which are now available. This NCC H100 V5 virtual machine SKU is based on AMD 4th Gen EPYC-TM processors with SEV SNP technology paired with the NVIDIA H100 Tensor Core GPUs. This SKU provides hardware-based trusted execution environments, so TEE, that enhances guest protection against potential access by the hypervisor and other host management code to VM, memory and state, thereby safeguarding against unauthorized operator access. There's also a new smaller SKU available with Azure Redis for Cache. It's the E1 Cache instance, which sits at a lower price point and gives you access to a lot of features. Also, there is a new online migration service to help you migrate from Azure Database for PostgreSQL single server to the flexible server offering. Online migration is the ideal choice when you have large databases and required limited application downtime. It's key to remember the Azure Database for PostgreSQL single server product is on a retirement path, so it's worth looking into these migration options. Thanks for tuning in, folks, and please don't forget to leave me a review, share this podcast and subscribe on whatever platform you're listening on, and I'll see you all again soon.